Okay, so I'm going to speak briefly here about Bound for Glory. Doug is not with me right now, but hopefully he will get his thoughts in later on this week. But Bound for Glory, TNA's biggest pay-per-view of the year, delivered on such a level that in order to actually live and for me to actually explain to you how great this pay-per-view was, I can't do that. What you can do, though, is pick up your remote and order the replay, because that's the only way you're going to understand. That's the only way you're going to be able to feel and experience this great pay-per-view. This will go down as one of the greatest pay-per-views in the wrestling business, in the history of the wrestling business, not just of TNA. It was that good. So I would recommend it to any one of you out there, whether you're a WWE fan, whether you're just getting into the business and you're just trying to decide whether you want to watch WWE or TNA or both. I would recommend it for anybody. I've heard a few people kind of bash this and say that it didn't live up to expectations. Well, if it didn't live up to your expectations, you're either A, setting the bar too high, or B, not knowledgeable enough about this business to really understand what it is. Because if you're a fan of professional wrestling and you respect this business, there is no way you did not enjoy this show. And I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference, because a lot of you WWE fans out there, yes, you like the WWE because it's cool, because you're a bunch of posers, not because you actually believe in something, because you let Vince McMahon dictate what you watch, because it has been proven that he does not respect the fans' opinion. The only way that John Cena dropped the title, had to get injured. And not only that, we've had numerous videos that have been floating around the internet from a guy that watched No Mercy that said it was the worst show he had been to, you know, and that he would never go back and spend his money on the WWE. We had a guy that wrote to OneWrestling.com that said that, you know, he was in England for the Raw show and that they were confiscating all the signs, all the banners, everything, and that the crowd was pissed about it and they were chanting "We want signs" throughout the whole night. That means Vince is taking your opinion away from you. He doesn't respect you. And so by being a fan of that, you have proven that you are nothing but a bunch of posers. And that's the difference between Doug and I and all of you. We believe in something. We believe in TNA Wrestling. And TNA Wrestling cares about its fans. They listen to their fans. They go out there and try to give the best show possible for the money that you spend, because they know you work your ass off for it. And that is what separates us from you. Okay, and by TNA having shows like this, I don't think people understand. By TNA having a show in Atlanta that was so awesome, think about when the WWE goes back there. You think they're going to chant TNA? I think so. I think TNA will slowly steal the towns away from the WWE, and it is so easy to do. The WWE is so vulnerable right now. So if TNA were to run New York, if they were to run Philadelphia, if they were to run any town that the WWE runs, they're going to take that town away from them. And I guarantee you the next time they go back, the crowd's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're going to continue to grow. So, I mean, with that being said, I would be worried if I was in the position of Vince McMahon. I mean, obviously, you're trying your very hardest to garner some type of fan interest in. You know, you have former world champions leaving your company, big stars. I mean, with Christian, okay, it could be a coincidence. Could be a coincidence. You know, he's a multi-time Intercontinental Champion, multi-time Tag Team Champion, and, you know, he decided to leave the WWE even though he was offered more money. He was offered more money, but he decided to go to TNA because he felt that the WWE was not going in a good direction and that TNA was the new face of professional wrestling. Could be a coincidence. Then you have one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Kurt Angle. In the history of this business, I don't think there's been anybody that can deliver like that man. But anyways, let's go on. Multi-time world champion, tag team champion, European champion, intercontinental champion. The guy has held basically every title there is to hold. Top WWE guy. WWE billed him as their best guy in the company. Leaves, goes to TNA. says he didn't like the direction the company was going, and that TNA was the new face of professional wrestling. Could be a coincidence. It could be. Rob Van Dam leaves, badmouths the WWE, didn't like the direction the company was going, decides to take a hiatus. Could be a coincidence. It could be. Booker T asked for his release in July, then asked for his release again in October because he didn't like the way the company was going. And he said he's still going to stay in the business, and he hopes the fans follow him during his transition to where? Stay tuned for that one. Could be a coincidence? I don't think so. I think former world champions leaving the WWE because they don't like the direction of the company is a huge deal. Very, very big deal. So keep an open mind about that. I mean, do you want to have a voice? Do you want to have a say in what you watch? Since you pay your hard-earned money to see it every single month on pay-per-view if you go to a live event? And Mick Foley even said in his newest book that he said flat out that the WWE intentionally has bad shows so that they think they can get a better buy rate for their big four, which is SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and WrestleMania. They intentionally put on bad shows, which means if they come to your town, is it going to be a bad show or is it going to be a good show? I don't know, but I hope it's going to be good because I just paid my hard-earned money that I worked so hard for to see it. TNA going to deliver every time. And that's the difference. If TNA comes to Texas and they decide to have a street team and a pay-per-view, I guarantee you we will be at the head of that street team and we will make sure that we draw the biggest crowd that TNA has ever had. Because the bottom line is this: TNA cares about the fans are going to give back to TNA. That's all I've got to say for this week. We'll see you next week.